Hey everybody, my name's Seth. I am physically exhausted and on the verge of collapse. Let's get started. So today we have another installment of my Signs Through the Houses series where I'm giving nuanced perspectives on the houses for beginners and intermediate astrologers to maybe flex their muscles a little bit and try looking at the houses in different ways so they can get different and nuanced interpretations of what the signs mean when they sit there. We're going to be analyzing the fourth house today, looking at secret creature comforts. What I mean by that are things that your friends and family may not expect pleases you when you are by yourself or in a very comfortable place. The fourth house is about your upbringing, yes, but it's also about how you define happiness in your world, how you idealize your perfect leisurely time and what you do to de-stress. It's the psychology behind what influences you to initiate and acquire in life. With Aries in the fourth house, your secret creature comforts surround the idea of letting off emotional steam, kind of getting rid of that excess energy that you either refuse or cannot find a good outlet to let out in your everyday life. It's about finding good emotional outlets, and that can be watching a really good engaging movie that can feel cathartic, playing a video game that is engaging and cathartic, having sex, indulging in sex, getting that energy out, or even starting a fight with someone just to get the anxiousness and the aggression out in some way, knowing that when that fight is over, that it's just a butting of heads, maybe just a debate, maybe just a cathartic way for release. So with Taurus in the fourth house, you find that you really like the idea of being able to indulge in hedonism. Again, sex is found here, being able to eat whatever you want, being able to spend money and on things that are not necessarily useful, but are very pleasurable. It's the idea of kind of getting those imaginative, kind of you might consider to be selfish indulgences, getting the chance to indulge in those selfish indulgences and please yourself as much as you feel the need to make sure everyone else around you is happy. It's a good ego boost as well to be able to spend money on yourself and to be able to please yourself for yourself by yourself. So with Gemini in your fourth house, surprisingly, you are actually very much of a tinkerer. You usually find that with Virgo type energy, that they like to tinker and play with things, but when you put Gemini in the fourth, the mind kind of needs an outlet. It needs to kind of get a catharsis out of its ideas. So it's a little bit more than writing things down, even though writing things down and maybe playing with a poem, playing with a song, playing with something in that way, could be looked at as tinkering, but I'm actually talking about literally taking something apart and putting it back together again, doing lots of puzzles, physical puzzles, maybe even inventing something, or trying to find a way to use something in a way that it wasn't used before. Reinvention as well as inventing is found here. It's really tinkering with the small details and repurposing things around you for the sake of kind of not being bored, keeping your mind active, and then finding little ways to get little prizes for the ideas that you have. With Cancer in the fourth house, one of your biggest pleasures is to be able to just kind of wallow and to be sad when you want to feel sad and to be angsty when you want to feel angsty and to just really settle into how you feel and feel it as much as you want to. Really just letting yourself be weak for the sake of being stronger later. Just feel whatever you want to feel, be as weak as you feel like you want to be, and then when you step outside your front door, you feel a lot more prepared to be as strong as you need to be to face what's ahead. With Leo in your fourth house, it's about the getaway for one. It's about the idea of being able to not tell anyone and to just kind of slip away, disappear, and go off on that vacation that you've always dreamed of, to be able to have your home be there when you get back, have your life be there when you get back, but to really escape from everyone and everything for just a little while. Let it be a week or so, because really after a week or so you start to miss having people around and having interaction. But to just have that moment in that true clarity of silence and separation is bliss for you. With Virgo in the fourth house, preparation, and it sounds boring, and for some people it kind of is unless you have your own Virgo placements where you can relate, but really just setting up planners, setting up calendars, looking through and structuring how your days are going to go, setting up your tools for the week or for the month, or figuring out how your bills are going to lay out. Like, those are things you kind of like to do when you get home, and idealistically your leisurely time would kind of be spent preparing so you have less to do later, so you have more of a structure, so you have less worry later. It's a lot of preparation with Virgo in the fourth. With Libra in the fourth house, it's a lot of binging on pop culture, but it's a lot different than just kind of picking up tabloids and reading about what celebrities are doing. It's more honestly understanding pop culture's effect on society. You really like to understand the backstory of your favorite movies, the backstory of your favorite actors and actresses, and to understand what their influence is on Hollywood and what Hollywood's influence is on the world and how they all interact with each other. How did something come to be? If you have a favorite movie, what happened behind the scenes? How did everything come together? Like, you're very, very interested in the intricacies and the social political climate behind all of the pop culture that you truly love. And when you get that leisurely time, that fantasy of yours is to be able to sit back and be a nerd about pop culture. With Scorpio in the fourth house, a lot of your leisurely time, or idealistic leisurely time, is spent kind of checking on things, counting your money, checking your bank statements, checking when something's due to make sure that you had the right idea, checking in with your boss to see you guys are on good standing, and checking in with your coworkers, like just kind of checking a lot of things and making sure that generally you can decide that your life is okay. Then from that point, you can kind of relax and almost feel as if you could do nothing, but then your leisurely time is over. Because once you've checked everything and you're sure that you're okay, you want to be better than okay. So relaxed time is kind of one of Scorpio's sacrifices here in the fourth house. It's not like someone is forcing you to sacrifice your leisurely time. It's more that you've never really had it as much as you wanted it, so you now never need it as much as others do. With Sagittarius in the fourth house, funny enough, your leisurely time is actually spent given to a lot of people, the people around you. You like to really find people that need advice. You like to find people that need some type of guidance. You kind of like to put on a show and show people how much you've learned and how much experience you've acquired. So in your leisurely time, you kind of like to be around other people so you can tell them what's the best restaurant to go to if they're visiting Philadelphia. What's your favorite museum to go to if they're coming to Connecticut. Like, you just love to be able to give people guidance and give them good advice so they can have experiences that you have had. So then when you're ready to go out and experience new things, you can consider the other things old. You've already passed them out. You've already given them to other people. They're not special anymore. They're not good stories anymore. So now it's time for you to go out and get new, more interesting stories and new, more interesting restaurants and places that you enjoy. With Capricorn in the fourth house, your idealistic leisurely time is actually spent practicing. And even though you might not really consider it practicing, but all those goofy little tricks that you know, or goofy little skills that you have, like being able to whittle something, like take a block of wood and whittle it into a snake, or to be able to sound like a whale, like to sing really high and hit your whistle register, or to be able to do a really good impersonation of someone, just really goofy things that you just enjoy doing. You like to spend your time getting better and better at those goofy things that you enjoy. So really, you're kind of building up skills nonstop, but at least you're having fun building up those skills compared to the skills that you have to build up to be able to survive. But kind of no matter what, you're constantly practicing something. With Aquarius in the fourth house, a lot of your idealistic leisurely time is actually spent imagining. And creating contingency plans and things of that nature concerning your friends and your networking circle. You imagine what would happen if someone happened to have this conversation with someone else, or if this moved over here, or if this responsibility got shifted from that person to me, or from that person to that person. You almost set up all of your relationships and possibilities within these relationships as if it's on a chessboard, and then imagine what would happen if this moved here, or that moved there, or that moved there. You kind of spend a lot of time really creating contingencies, like I said, to understand interactions and the possibilities within interactions. And it might, to other people, seem as if you've zoned out. You just like to zone out. But in your own head, you're actually just creating a ton of different stories and possibilities concerning the people that you understand. With Pisces on your fourth house cusp, you like to imagine as well, just like the people with Aquarius in the fourth house cusp, but you like to imagine the depth of people. You like to imagine what it is that drives them and try to understand their psychology and their philosophy and how their lives must be whenever they leave you. Like when you're hanging out with a friend and then you go home and you're chilling and you're doing your own thing, you're listening to your music, you're just kind of, you know, being within your own little ocean, enjoying the waves. You tend to kind of linger on who you were just with and try to imagine what their lives are like after they've left you, and try to imagine what makes up their psychology and why did they say the certain thing that they said to me earlier, what did they mean by this certain thing, or I wonder what made them get angry earlier, like what life did they have to be able to get triggered by something like that, where if that situation happened to me I wouldn't get angry. So like it's kind of delving into the philosophy of the people around you and trying to imagine what their lives are like and what makes up their psychology. And funny enough, 9 times out of 10 you're not wrong. You're kind of just visiting someone else's wavelength and riding along with them, and then thinking to yourself, oh, I must be crazy, or oh, like I'm just imagining things and moving on. But you really, that's why you understand your friends so much better than everyone else, because you hook onto their frequency, and then when they leave, you're still on it, and you can understand them and kind of look into their past and look into their future without really knowing it. And that's leisurely time for you. So I find that exhausting, but that's kind of amazing with Pisces on the fourth house cusp. My personal opinions aside, that is the end of this video. That is each sign on the fourth house cusp, understanding what leisurely time is like and what are your secret creature comforts. These are most likely things that you're not telling to your friends, you're not doing with your friends around. So it's interesting to think about. If you enjoyed these interpretations, be sure to share them with your friends so you and them can leave comments down below and let me know what your experience is like with your fourth house cusp. And maybe you have planets in there that change things or add depth or complexity. It's always interesting to hear it and to find out what you guys are talking about. I'm really enjoying the comments that are being left on the videos, and I'm looking forward to the comments that are continue to be there. And also, thank you if you're watching this video on Patreon early before it's actually released on YouTube. I'm really happy to be giving you guys a little extra that I can for being a patron and helping me out make these videos and keep my series and my channel running smoothly. I highly appreciate it. I think that's it. I'm done rambling. So if you're watching this on YouTube, then be sure to hop over to my Patreon and become a patron so you can see my videos early. So yeah, click my face on one of these corners if you want to subscribe, watch one of these videos on the side if you want to continue watching my videos. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff if you want to interact with me a little bit more personally. I actually think that's really it. So bye you guys, hope you enjoyed, bye.